Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Youier podcast. I am your host, Elle Edwards, founder of Youier and the Blue House. Surprise, we're back, it's season 8. I did not know at the end of season 7 when I heard that nudge from God to stop the podcast and focus on our new podcast, Lead by Design. I had no hint that here we are. 3 months later, not quite 3 months later, we'd be back, but we are, and I'm so excited to be back with you. So for season 8 of the Youier podcast, we have the same overarching theme as we always have, helping you be Youier, the leader God created you to be in intentional, expectant relationship with Him, remembering that if you love Jesus, you have Holy Spirit inside of you, which means that you can hear from God. Hearing from God is not the exclusive remit of like ultra holy people or prophets or hopefully your local pastor. You can hear from God too. So we're going to be exploring that. We're also going to be digging in how we can help you every day to improve your mental health, how we can help you take action on the things that God's nudging you about, all of that good stuff. And each episode is going to be released on a Monday. Why on a Monday? On a Monday because at the end of every episode, and these episodes are going to be short and sweet, the goal is no more than 10 minutes. The reason for that is slightly strategic. It means that you'll now be able to listen to this season of the podcast on your Alexa-enabled device, if you so choose to do so. And I'll make sure that somewhere on the Youier website there is instructions on how to do that. But they're short and sweet, but most importantly, short and sweet and actionable. Because at the end of every episode, you're going to hear me give you a little prompt or a nudge or an action for the week that you get to go and play with and explore. If you're a member of the Blue House, I would encourage you to explore it and then come and share what comes up for you inside the Blue House. With that reminder as well, of course, if you're not yet a member of the Blue House, we now have 2 entry levels into the Blue House, depending upon what you're wanting to focus on. And our relationship level piece is pay as you're nudged, and there's a minimum of £1 to join us. So there's no financial reason why you shouldn't join us. So if you enjoy these episodes and you enjoy the prompts and you don't yet have a community, a safe space to walk out what it means for you to be Youier, I would encourage you to check out the Blue House. Youier.com/join is where you can do that. So where are we starting with this first episode of season 8? We're starting with one of my very favourite Bible verses. I have a few favourites. It's one that some of you who've been following along will have heard me share before, more than once or twice, but I make no apology for that. This is where I'm being nudged for us to start, because we are focusing on your mental health. We're focusing on your outlook. And our Bible verse for this is Philippians 4, verse 8. Finally, whatever is true, whatever is honourable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think on these things. And then verse 9, whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice. And then this bit is key. I quite often leave out verse 9, but this is why I shouldn't. And the God of peace will be with you. It's a reminder that as you do your plaything for the next few days, and I'm going to share with you what your plaything is in a moment, as you explore your plaything over the next few days, you're not doing this on your own. So this is why we are starting here for this first episode of season 8 of the podcast, because as over the next few weeks, as we explore things together, we want to do it from a baseline of thinking lovely thoughts, to paraphrase that verse. Why is this so important? I know I can hear some of you screaming, reticular activating system, yellow car syndrome. You've heard me say it before. Yes, the way that your mind is created, there's a group of neurons at the back of your mind here, back of your brain here, a collection of neurons that do all sorts of clever things, including acting like a filter. And so it means that those things that you pay attention to, your mind filters them in. It's the reason why when I first bought a yellow car 10 years ago, I suddenly started seeing yellow cars everywhere. Incidentally, I don't have my yellow car anymore. Boo. But it still stands. What I'm anticipating is going to happen, I shall report back on this over the next few weeks. I'm picking up a different model of car in red tomorrow. So I'm anticipating that I'm going to start seeing those cars around town all the time. I noticed that over the last sort of week as we've been thinking about it, I haven't seen them anywhere. So I'm full of anticipation for working out and seeing how my reticular activating system suddenly filters in cars just like the one that I bought. It applies to cars, it applies to pregnant people if you find out that you're pregnant or somebody you care about is pregnant. It applies to many different things. Your reticular activating system filters in the things that it deems important, and the way it knows what is important is that you train it, and you can absolutely hack your mind. And so what I want to encourage you to do, your plaything for this next week, and I want to remind you to actually do this, please. Even if you're like, oh yeah, I do this already, just try it for 2 days, 1 day even, right? I want you to set for the day that for the time that you're awake. Set a timer on your phone, or you can set an old school timer if you want to. Every hour, and it doesn't have to be the top of the hour if that's not convenient to you, but every hour I want you to set a timer so that you can pause what you're doing and then look around you. Okay, what is lovely, praiseworthy, admirable, all those good things that Paul talked about right now in this moment. Look around you, eyes wide open, paying attention. It's not just what you can see, you can stop and listen. What can you hear? What can you smell? What can you touch? What can you taste? You might be having a really good cup of coffee. Paying attention to these things deliberately, it signals to your mind that those things are important. I have it on good authority from a number of different people who I've explored this with over the last few years, that when they actually try it, it does happen. I'm reminded that one of my friends a number of years ago, and we talked about this, and then she started pausing and deliberately noticing, and then she came back and said, I remember I saw these birds sitting on the telegraph wire, and it made her smile, and then something else happened and it made her smile. And it really does make a difference. Now, there are some people who say to me, and maybe this is what you're thinking right now, but Elle, you don't know me, I'm just naturally a pessimistic person, I'm a little bit Eeyore. Okay, fine. I want to remind you that your mind is not fixed. Neuroplasticity, the whole incredible brain science, that the discoveries around actually these pathways, these neural pathways in your mind, they are not fixed. They can be changed. The picture of this that I often give is when I'm out walking the dog, and okay, my dog is not with us anymore, but I noticed this when she was still with us, so it still stands. There's a path with a concrete bit, and then there was a shortcut. And for years and years and years, the shortcut was there. And I noticed one day, one summer, the shortcut had gone. People had stopped walking across that way, and it had grown over. The weeds had come back, the grasses had regrown. This is a picture of what happens in your mind. The things that you deliberately choose to pay attention to. Those times when you set timers and deliberately, okay, what is lovely and delightful in this moment? You are training your mind, laying down those new neural pathways. So yes, there will be some people who might tend to be a little bit more Eeyore, shall we say, but your mind is not fixed. And so for you, I would encourage you, do this. Even if you think it's not going to work, give it a go and see what happens. With that reminder as well, of course, if you are inside the Blue House, come and report back. Share with us what you discovered, what those new things. Even if you're somebody who's like, I've done this before, Elle, do it again anyway, because I want to encourage you to be open to new possibilities, new discoverings, new things that can make you smile. With that reminder, if you're not a member of the Blue House, come and join us, youier.com/join. If you know somebody who would benefit from this episode, please do share it with them, and I look forward to sharing the next episode with you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.